Hello my friends, Lady Lee here, and in this video I want to share with you the best thing to put on crackers, or in other words, garlic confit. This time we're making it with cherry tomatoes. You can make it just with garlic as well, kind of the same process, but we're just kind of ending tomato season here in the south, and this is like a celebration of tomato flavors. I use cherry tomatoes for this dish. I actually usually use my Matt's wild tomatoes here, but I picked up these very colorful cherry tomatoes from the grocery store the other day just because they were so pretty and so many colors. So I'm writing this recipe on the blog too, and I thought it would be really pretty in the pictures. But you can do it with any kind of cherry tomatoes. We don't want to do it with a regular tomato that you diced because then it will just give too much juice. So we're not going to cut the tomatoes in any way. They will the skin will open, but they won't release as much juice as if you use like a sliced tomato or something like that. But here's what we're gonna do here. So we're starting with peeling garlic. That takes some time, so feel free to just sit in front of the TV and watch your favorite show and just peel a bunch of garlics. I did about 6 heads of garlic here, about 2 cups. It's really easy to adjust the amounts for this recipe. You can do basically as much as you want or as little as you want. So once we peeled the garlic and cut the bottom part, we just put it aside, and then I usually put tin foil in an 8x8 pan. You don't have to put the tin foil, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know, I feel like it's easier to clean this way. So if you're processing more tomatoes and garlic, then feel free to use a bigger pan. Really, you can adjust the quantities here as however you want. I add about a teaspoon of dry thyme from the garden, and then probably about half a teaspoon of salt. Again, you can put a little bit more salt. You can leave the salt out altogether. You can add sage, you can add oregano, you can add different things and kind of play around with it a little bit. Then the most important part here, because you can leave all seasonings out if you want to and just do garlic and tomatoes, but do not forget the olive oil. So about probably 1.5 cups or so. We want to sort of almost cover the garlic and the tomatoes with olive oil. Definitely make sure that they're all coated in olive oil, but there should be a lot of olive oil in the pan to a point where it's almost covering the vegetables. And then the last thing we do is just close that pan with tin foil, with another piece of tin foil, and we are going to bake it. I usually put it on a baking sheet just because it's easier for me to get it out of the oven this way. It's not a mandatory step here. Low and slow for maybe 3 hours on 225 Fahrenheit. It can be a little bit more than 3 hours, a little bit less than 3 hours. About 2.5 hours in, I take this out and I took it out here just to check, so I can have a better recording of the time, because I usually just stick it in there. But you can take it in about 1.5 hours, 2 hours in, and check if your garlics are soft. Here they weren't soft, so I just covered it and put it back in the oven. But about 2.5 hours in or something like that, I take the pan out and I remove the foil from the top, just so everything can get a little bit of golden color. Now we're baking it low and slow for a few hours. Feel free, if you need to leave the house, to turn the oven off and then just come back and start again. That's what I did this time. That's why I'm wearing different leggings. I just had to leave, so I turned off the oven and I left it in the oven, and then actually I think I continued baking it the next day, and that's totally possible. Everything is in olive oil, so it's gonna be just fine. All right, so what we want to accomplish here is basically the garlic cloves need to be soft, really, really soft. Everything gets this golden color and it's beautiful. And this is actually a paste. It doesn't look like a paste, but it is a paste because the garlic cloves are so soft that when we serve it, you really just take one of them and kind of spread them, squish them onto toast or crackers and spread them around, add a little bit of the tomato on it, and it is delicious. I love adding cheddar, a piece of cheddar cheese on there. You can add it to roasted vegetables, so whatever vegetables you roast, just throw a garlic here and there and a tomato here and there, and it adds so much flavor to so many dishes. If you serve meat, you can serve this as a side or as a topping for meat. So usually when I make it for ourselves and I need to store it, I store it in jars, like you saw the little jar, and you can store it in the fridge. It will last forever. You can also store it in the freezer. It will last forever. The olive oil might solidify for a little bit, but that is totally okay and normal. And then this time, because I was taking it with me to the farmer's market, people around here just love it when I make this. I put it in those little plastic containers, which are also a great way to store it. Don't forget, if you have a little bit of olive oil left, so make sure everything is under olive oil when you store it. And if you have a little bit of olive oil left, do not dare get rid of it. You just store it in a jar or a little container and make sure that you cook with it. It is delicious. This is really the healthiest thing ever. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Printable is on the blog, and I will see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.